Hi guys, welcome back to GP Reactions. My name is Gail. This is my channel, and it's great to be doing some reactions on a morning. Usually I'm at work at this time, but I have swapped a day around or two for a little while. So hopefully I'll be able to do more reactions during the week, and gives me the weekend then to sort of like go and do other stuff. But yeah, it's great, just great to be here, and I'm much better in the mornings than I am of an evening. With all the best intentions I have when I'm at work, when I finish work, I get back, I'm thinking to myself, I'll do some reactions tonight, listen to a bit of music, but as soon as I sit down, I just get like, completely zonked out. I am a little tired this morning. I got up early, so to go and help a friend, but it's just nice to actually be here on a Thursday morning. It's great. Thanks to everybody for being here with me, and thank you for subscribing, commenting, suggesting music to listen to, liking, sharing, and obviously in the comments you can suggest music to listen to, or you can go to buy me a coffee and recommend a great track for me to listen to that I will react to not almost immediately, but very close to immediately, um, probably the same week, and I will, react to it and post it if I can, as long as it doesn't get blocked. I'm still a little bit worried about certain bands, but yeah, for sure, if you like some music and you're really desperate for somebody to react to it and nobody else has, then I will oblige. I love to listen to new stuff. I don't care how obscure it is. I'll always have a listen and tell you what I think. So this is one that I'm racking my brains to think if I've ever heard this before. And it's a track by Ultravox called Once More Day. Very familiar with Ultravox, of course. It was around about the time when I was growing up. Vienna, um, The Voice. There's some tracks I'm not so familiar with. But yeah, they were very much the staple diet of my childhood. Um, and I would have been around about 17 the time that this came out, which was 11th of February actually, and it peaked at number 27, so perhaps that's why it doesn't seem as familiar to me. So for anyone who was around in the early 80s, um, you'll appreciate that generally you got to listen to stuff on the radio or Top of the Pops, and unless you bought the album or went to see the band live, that was basically just limited to Top of the Pops or the radio. Um, so if a track isn't that commercially successful, you might hear it might feature once or twice in a top 40, and then it would just go. You wouldn't hear of it again. Um, so yeah, this is One Small Day from the album Lament, and I'm surprised. I mean, it's only peaked at number 27, so definitely sort of like wets my whistle to actually know what this track sounds like. At this time in Ultravox, we have Warren Can on drums, percussion, Chris Cross on bass synths, Billy Curry on keyboards, violin, Mijur on guitar, and lead vocals, of course. So I think this was written by Chris Cross and Mijur. I'm sure that the band members had an input into this. But yes, this is, I think, Oxford Roadshow. So this would be from 1974. And this is Ultravox Once More Day live. Hopefully this is actually live and not just a sort of a dubbed performance. But we'll see.
The stack is high against you, and the hammer's coming down, and the time that's yours lies heavy in your hands. Oh, my sentimental friend, the fast must reach an end.
First thing that strikes me is that this track feels like different to other Ultravox tracks. And perhaps that would be maybe why it's not maybe deemed as popular, but it seems very heavy on the guitars. I noticed Billy Curry standing with his hands in his pocket, so maybe not so heavy on the synths, but very really interesting and very sort of like hit the ground running kind of track. And I love the immediacy of the immediacy. Do you know I can't get my words right? Everything's like the wrong way right this morning. But I love the instant. Anyway, I love the way it began, and uh, yeah. So I'm going to take it back to the beginning because it just literally, poof, right out the traps. Drum's really heavy as well. So I mean, apart from the guitars, being heavy on guitars, love the little bit of synth there, like doo doo doo. I love that bit. But apart from that, it does feel very Ultravoxy, but it kind of also feels slightly like they're maybe looking to kind of evolve. But at the very beginning, it had like a little bit of a big country feel about it. But with like a very, very strong hint of Ultravox added to that. So I'm not sure whether they were just like experimenting. Big Country were pretty big in 83, 84. Whether maybe Midge was like maybe sort of saying, can we try a few of these tracks? But this is really, really cool. I've never heard this before. I can't believe I've never heard this before because it's kind of it feels not it feels quite rock heavy, not synth heavy, and I would have really enjoyed it back in the day. So maybe I just missed that week on the top 40. So very sad. Wow. Ah, there's that synth sound. song's got so many good transitions. I love the euphoric transition into the into the actual chorus. But this is really cool. And that guitar break was just like, I don't know why I don't. I mean, I know Michio plays guitar, so I'm not sure why it comes as a surprise. But I think when you see something live, it's kind of like it's more about the musical performance, as well as the actual physical performance of the artist, that you don't kind of really get to see so much of in videos. Um, but this is amazing, really. Such a, I'm not sure. Looking at the other guitarist, I'm not sure who that would be. Maybe that's got to be Chris Cross. I'm assuming. That was really good. I'm pretty sure that was live. That has to be live. But that was really good. And like I said, I was quite surprised by the the dominant like guitar sound in it. But also I was very happy that there was a very sort of gentle undercurrent of synths in that as well. Um, the lyrics are interesting, especially the chorus. One day where I didn't have to die 1,000 times, where I could satisfy this life of mine once more day. I mean, is this about fighting depression? Um, I mean, the song began, if a stack is high against you and a hammer's coming down, and the time that yours lies heavy on your hands, on oh my sentimental friend, the fast must reach an end. Hmm. I wonder if they're talking about the fast. Uh, whether I'm reading these lyrics right, the fast must reach an end. Um, the only thing I can think of that was maybe going on was maybe this is semi-political as well. Um, I think there was a thing with Bobby Sands, 1981. So, I mean, this came out in 1984, so it's just a couple of years gap. Maybe that weighed heavy on the mind of the band members who wrote this. And yeah, so, and the time that shores lies heavy on your hands, oh my sentimental friend, the fast must reach an end. Lying face down on a cold stone, and they give their all to you, but their all is slipping through your hands. Oh, my sentimental friend, your time will come again. So I wonder if that is a sort of commentary on people that go on hunger strike, that um, it won't be the last people to do that kind of thing. And quite in another kind of way, we had the Palestinian protesters. I think the Palestinian protesters that went on hunger strike as well. I'm not sure if that's ended. I think it maybe has. Um, Then we go into the chorus, one day where I didn't have to die 1,000 times, where I could satisfy this life of mine once more day. Yeah, it's really interesting news because on the one hand I'm kind of thinking depression, but on the other hand I'm thinking maybe this is has a political slant to it, that like a social commentary on that people will maybe martyr themselves, but it's a kind of thing that comes around in cycles, that every now and again people will just do that, and it's like and as a sort of almost sentimentality of copying what other people have done in the name of maybe a different cause. Um, I'm not sure. It's really really interesting. Let me have a look see if there's any other lyrics. It's quite repetitive actually. The chorus doesn't seem to be many. How many times has it turned against you? How many times will they walk away? How many times have you let depression win the fight? So yeah, um, oh my sentimental friend will walk as one again. How many times have you let depression win the fight? So maybe this is about depression and suicide, and it's about changing oneself so that you can actually live and enjoy. Yeah, quite deep lyrics. Yeah, do you know what? I wish I'd heard this the first time round. I never heard this before, and I'm going to listen to the audio version straight after. I won't react to it, but I will have a listen to see if it's very, very similar, to see if it has the same resonance. But this was good. I enjoyed this. I'm very surprised that being Ultravox, being a big band, they had a fairly quiet 1983. But I do remember in 1984, I do remember vaguely remember Lament, which is which I only remember because I just read that's the name of the album. But I also remember the track I do remember was it Dancing with Tears in My Eyes. I kind of found that very dark and depressing, a little bit scary. I was actually very scared in 1984, nuclear war and all that. It was a very heavy on the old nuclear war in 1984, music wise. We had Frankie Goes to Hollywood, Two Tribes. We had Nick Kershaw, Won't Let the Sun Go Down on Me, on You. I always get it confused with the Elton John song. Um, but yeah, this was a good one. I really enjoyed it, and I'm now interested in the album. So obviously I've named two tracks that from this album. Maybe there's other ones that have been commercially successful, but it seems good. It seems like they're trying something slightly different as well. So yes, let me know what you think of this track. Let me know if you remember this. Um, and if there's anything else off this album you can recommend, please do. And if it's something I've already heard, i.e., those two records, then I maybe will have to do a live reaction to a live version of those. But live, this was great. I'm now gonna listen to the audio of this and see if it sort of like correlates. But Michio, what a fantastic voice! It's, I mean, there's songs he's able to, and I've just been talking about this about and other singers as well, like Dennis DeYoung from Styx, that they're able to not only uh, not only tell a story, but they're able to tell it in a very sort of euphoric, emotional way. Um, and it must be it's a real gift for a singer to actually get that across, rather than just sing the lyrics. And I think and generally I think if you write your own material, there's going to be an emotional input into that material. So um, always loved Michiru's voice. I remember first hearing it, of course, when I heard Vienna back in early '81, and just absolutely amazing. And I think a lot of people who react to Vienna on YouTube, as you'll probably have seen if you're an Ultravox fan, um, it's always like a mouth dropping moment where it goes through the quiet verses, and then you have that sort of build up into the chorus, or into the OVN a bit, and I kind of felt like a little bit with this going into the chorus of One Day, really ascending vocals there, fantastic. Um, yes, for guitars and you know what? The synths as well, Billy Curry's synths were, even though they were very quite understated in this, they were beautifully subtle as well. Um, Sort of just trickled along beneath everything, and then occasionally it sort of poked its little head out to give us a taste of the Ultravox we know. Um, but 100% this was great. The drums were really cool, it's very heavy as well. So I really, really enjoyed this and definitely want to hear more from this album. It's really wet my whistle. What a day to listen to music. Fantastic. What an era to be around alive in as well. The 80s. You can't go back. Well, you can because we have YouTube. Um, the nostalgia will never die. I can't get enough of listening to music from the 80s. But to actually hear something that I've never heard before, it's it kind of stops me in my tracks, and it brings out a nostalgia that it's kind of weird. It brings out like a Mandela effect nostalgia. So now I've heard these, I kind of feel that it's part of my childhood, um, because I know that there was music around that complemented all these bands and gelled them all together, even though the music was kind of very different. Um, you was listening to a great selection of music each week on the charts in the early to mid 80s. Each week felt like the greatest hits of that year. So when and I don't know if you ever felt this, was so when they compiled the greatest hits of that year, maybe a Now Music cassette tape, you kind of felt a little bit cheated because you know that there was tracks that were tremendous that didn't make that cassette tape or that album. Um, and that just goes to prove how fantastic the music was in the 80s. Um, Terrific. Um, that's all I've really got to say on this one. Please join me in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Feel the bass track. And till next time, take great care of yourselves. Have a great week.